Andrew responded, and he did exactly what I knew he was going to do. He threw James and Fuhad under the bus.
I'm going to explain why I don't feel like this outrage, James and Fuhad, is going to go anywhere. Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here, and welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is the part 2 video of the video I posted previously of Andrew, the guy podcast that James and Fuhad went to that disrespected black women with his joke. His response to James and Fuhad apology and all the things throwing them under the bus. If you haven't seen that video, go check out that video so you can join in this conversation. So in this video, we're going to hear people's reaction to the Andrew guy's reaction to James and Fuhad apology. I know it's a mouthful, but stay with me, okay? But go check out the sequence. I have about, which I'll link down in the description box. There's like almost 4, 5, no, not 4, like 4 videos. Like this is the 4th video of this James and Fuhad drama and controversy that is going on. So in this video, we're going to hear people's thought, what they think about Andrew's take on the apology and the situation, the joke about black women, what are his thoughts. Him and his team, they sat down, they reacted to it, and they shared their thoughts. So in this video, we're going to get people's response on this, and then we'll come back and talk more. So let's go check it out.
So those two dweebs from the UK, Lord Farquaad and the other guy from the Shits and Gigs podcast, hopped across the pond, did a podcast episode with a bigot, and now the bigot has slowed them down the river. Let me explain. So a clip on Twitter came across my timeline, and it's of Andrew Schultz's latest podcast episode, where he says that both the guys from Shits and Gigs and their manager asked them to delete certain parts of the interview or like the podcast episode because it was deemed too controversial. Woo! So making derogatory statements about black women, calling them aggressive and hostile, and calling Nigerian scammers, that wasn't controversial enough. There's clearly more in those deleted scenes. But number 2, he also said that the first 20 minutes of the episode, they spent making fun of their apology, literally like berating them, calling them like essentially losers, making fun of their body language and all that other stuff. And so it's very interesting when like karma is swift, you know what I mean? You hopped across the pond and thought you were gonna cuddle, that white man was gonna cuddle you. Yeah, they put you to sleep. Night night.
So Andrew Slutz and his minions posted a podcast in response to everything that's going on, but mainly what we're all tuning in for is what they had to say about James and Fuhad. And while James and Fuhad can kiss my derriere, they're laughing at them. They set them up for the okie doke, tank their career, killed their base, and then laughed at their apology video. And I just find it so funny that the part that they were giggling at the most is when James said, "We failed to protect you guys," and he's like, "Protect? They don't need protection." It's so many things that could be said about this response or whatever the hell they want to call it. And they said the mistake that they made was apologizing to us, because what they did was embolden their base to feel as if we have the power to cancel them. See, their platform is run on hate, right? Because before they even got to looking at their apology video, they spent 20 minutes spewing racist jokes back and forth to one another. They said you can't have comedy without some kind of like pain or suffering or just something attached to it that's negative. I didn't know jokes only come from negative things. I don't know. I could be tripping, but maybe I'm not a comedian, so what the fuck do I know, right?
So Andrew responded, and he did exactly what I knew he was going to do. He threw James and Fuhad under the bus.
Man, funny about this is that they had shit that they asked to take out the episode. You know what they didn't ask to take out? Your slander. nose twitch. They had shit. Their producer, whatever, was like, "Hey, we really think that's inappropriate. We'd like to take that out. That's very their fight and flight instinct really kicked in after the pilot down." But with that joke about the black women, nothing really seemed. The fight or flight wasn't really there. Your delivery was too good. Maybe they were seduced by the delivery. Yeah.
I like them. I feel bad they're going through this, but you don't gotta protect anybody.
You know what? I'm really not surprised because I have been seeing this from a whole different angle. And thanks to Andrew's video, he confirmed it, which I'll get to in another video. But for now, I want to talk to black women directly. We need to stop being blind consumers. It is time to get smart about where our money, time, and energy are going. Just because somebody goes mainstream or viral and they happen to look like us doesn't give them the clearance that they are for us. So how do we spot who's really for us? By simply looking into them. People will self-hate, will always show their cards. They can't hide it long enough. Eventually they will show it because they crave validation by any necessary means. Even at the expense of their women, culture, you name it. So stay sharp, protect your time, energy, and peace.
So Andrew Schultz has just done a reaction video reacting to James and Fuad's apology video. I already knew I was going to be irritated when I started watching it because he is just a troll. Like, he's just a real life troll. People want to be saying, oh, he's a comedian and whatnot, but what they said in their apology video was right. It definitely 100% was racist comments. Besides that, obviously, Andrew Schultz would feel as though he's been sort of thrown under the bus by James and Fuad. So he had to come back with something. And honestly, I'm just tired because at this point, I didn't even know who he was before this. So the fact that we're even talking about this man is irritating me to begin with, but I digress. He then decides that he's obviously going to throw James and Fuad under the bus as well. He basically says, do you know what's so funny? That their producers and them had loads of bits that they wanted to take out of the podcast episode, but do you know what they didn't ask to be taken out? And apparently, here we are. They have asked for bits to be taken out, and the whole section that everyone's enraged about wasn't asked to be removed. They watched that, they sat there, and it wasn't asked to be removed. Obviously, Andrew Schultz, I'm hoping that, you know, he's getting as much energy as James and Fuad, because yes, it should be that way. But James and Fuad also were obviously fine, not necessarily fine with what he said, but they didn't feel that uncomfortable that they asked for it to be removed and other things were removed. Like, they didn't ask. I feel like that's our answer. Like, that says it all, really.
Andrew Schultz pretty much just gave James and Fuhad a welcome to America moment. He sat up there and discredited their entire apology with a couple sentences of, we gave them the opportunity to sit up there and watch back the episode before it was posted, and they said it was okay. So you're acknowledging the fact that they knew the joke was made, they watched it maybe 1 or 2 times and said, go ahead and post it anyways. And Andrew Schultz just put all that information out there, which just makes their whole apology video obsolete for the simple fact of, you're not really sorry. That's a hell of a moment, or a hell of a way to sit up there and say, welcome to the business. I also do believe this bring up fight or flight in a situation like this is kind of weird, because all you had to say was, see, it's not even like that. Most black women don't even fit into that stereotype, and gone on with y'all conversation. Because when he tried to say Meg Thee Stallion wasn't attractive, y'all had no problem being like, damn, why'd you say Meg like that? You had no problem correcting that, right? And also the way that Andrew did a play-by-play of making fun of them in their apology video, like pretty much a Twitch streamer doing a reaction video, is insane.
James, Fuhad, you have some splaining to do. I asked y'all where was he. I said, where's he? The one y'all was for. Where's he? And baby, he done finally came out and spoke about all of the controversy and everything y'all going through. And you know what he did? He laughed. They talked about the whole controversy for about 20 minutes total, and they really spent like the first 5 minutes making super racist jokes between Andrew and Akash, who's Indian, and they was like going back and forth with stereotypes and prejudices, trying to prove that this is what we do. We can take the jokes. And then they spent about the next 10 minutes analyzing y'all apology and laughing at you. They laughed at you. He laughed at you. Him and his little friends sat around and they laughed at your apology. They mocked y'all apology. They laughed at your response. And you know why they laughed at your response? Because Andrew done told on y'all. He done spilled the little of the tea and how inauthentic your apology actually was. Why? Because guess what? So you mean to tell me y'all had the opportunity to delete the part that made you so uncomfortable, the part that made you fight or flight? You had the opportunity to ask for that to be edited out and you didn't. Why? Because this was a genuine laugh. Y'all really got a good little kiki. Y'all didn't see no problems with that moment in the moment. Just stand on business. Be honest. Stand on business. Say that, hey, y'all, we thought it was funny. We didn't think y'all would be offended. We're sorry you offended. Y'all could have just said that. We knew that's how you really felt.
Remember when I said apologizing makes it worse? It makes it worse. Well, James and Lord Farquaad, it just got worse, sir. So, Andrew Schultz just put out a new episode of Flagrant where he, once again, lil broed them boys. And I think this is so embarrassing. So when I was posting about this shits and gigs situation, I was saying that they had they stated in their apology that there were things that they were saying move on, move on, move on, but they did not say move on to that joke. And once again, I'm right. On Andrew Schultz's new episode of Flagrant, he said that not only did they say move on, but after the fact, their producer reached out and was like, hey, these are some parts that we think are too inappropriate and need to get cut out. And you know what they didn't ask to get cut out? That part. They didn't ask for them to cut out the jokes about black women. Even though they asked about several other things, and he obliged. You can have your cake and eat it too, all the time. Sometimes it just comes down to your finesse, and they got finessed by the finesser. He hold them boys bad, I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never laughed at nothing that man said, but when he said, yeah, that's definitely happened to me before. Like, I definitely have felt fight or flight, and then I just get the sudden urge to laugh. Doesn't that happen to you guys? Yeah, exactly. That sounded stupid. That was stupid to say. This is so embarrassing. And even though I already felt like this was, I didn't think it was going to be a career ender. It definitely was going to force them to change who they cater their audience to. But I do now think that it might be chopped. I think it might be chopped. That man said, y'all are lying through your teeth. And when I said an awkward, uncomfortable laugh is a real thing, but not a belly laugh, clearly y'all thought it was funny. The video that first of all, they posted the clip themselves. So they clearly did not have an issue with it. Second of all, the episode has been out for over a month. You're only apologizing because of the reaction. You're not apologizing because of your actions. And if you're not going to apologize and take accountability for your actions, you might as well keep it. Because the end result is the same. And in this case, the end result is even worse because the person that you wanted us to look at and say, this is your fault, said, actually, you had a little bit more control than you're pretending like, so this is definitely your fault. And here's the thing, because people want to say like, oh, why are you not on Andrew Schultz? Right? He's unknown, right? Like, this is not, what? Why would I be mad at him doing the exact same shit he been doing? I don't pay no attention to that man. I'm mad that two black men who have built their career on the backs of black women sat up and cackled when a white man was talking negatively about black women. When somebody feels negatively about black women and they are not black, it is not because of a woman. It is because they are black. And what I need y'all to do is get that through your minds so you're not on your knees licking the boot of a white man who is using you as a pawn. You got finessed. You got low broed. So what I want you to do is unplug that mic, turn the lights off, close the studio door, and never open it again. That's the real shits and gigs.
I just watched it. I just watched the full, that was my shoe, 12 minutes video on Twitter of the Flagrant podcast addressing the apology. I've only seen it on Twitter. I haven't seen it on TikTok yet, so I'm sure it's gonna make its rounds eventually. But if you're on Twitter and you look up It's Lola Listens, the video is attached to this this comment. And take a wild guess what the Flagrant podcast response to this was. They spent pretty much the entire 12 minutes, first of all, doing a play-by-play. Like, they had that white man with the laptop put the video on the screen and watch it practically in full, paused at certain points, talked, laughed, made fun, and it was nuts. They spent the entire time laughing at that apology and making fun of James and Fuhad. They even pointed out the fight or flight. They pointed out the fight or flight and said, laughing uncontrollably is not fight or flight. Exactly. Y'all was a kiki king on that fucking podcast. Just for them to watch your apology and basically start laughing at you. They made fun of black women. They made fun of Nigerians. They made fun of, Trini / Irish, which is what James is, and said, damn, y'all are double slaved. And Andrew made it a point to mention that Shits and Gigs producer or manager, whoever, actually asked the show to take some parts out. So in the episode, there are some parts that are not in the episode that their production asked to take out because this is going to be offensive. But look at what was left on it. Look at what was left on it. The jokes about black women was left on it. They didn't request to have the black woman shit taken out. Andrew said it. And he was like, guess what they didn't ask to get taken off? The black woman segment, the Nigerian segments, the Irish and Trini segment, calling them double slave. So if that was what was allowed to be on the Flagrant podcast, I can only imagine what they were talking and the kiki about that we will never see. That is nasty work. Nasty fucking work. Oh my God. Like, I want to be surprised, but I'm not. Everyone's like, oh, why don't y'all attack Andrew? Why are y'all mad at them? Why are y'all mad at them? Listen, Andrew knows who he is. They're saying, oh, there's something about being funny on the internet and being a comedian, and we comedians are fine with being canceled. First of all, I thought you had to be funny to be a comedian, but okay. And the thing is, we Americans, especially black Americans, know what Andrew Schultz is about. I remember when he and Charlemagne the God had the podcast, The Brilliant Idiots. I'm guessing they don't have it anymore. I remember when Charlemagne had the show on MTV called Uncommon Sense, and it was him, it was Andrew Schultz, it was Crystal from The Read, and every single fucking time Crystal handed him his ass. Crystal dug into his ass, did not let no inappropriate, no offensive shit fucking fly. And she was Crystal of The Read. Like, a bigger podcast, because they've been around for about 11 years at this point, bigger than Shits and Gigs. They even had a tour in London at one point. So my point is, we know what Andrew Schultz is about. Andrew Schultz has been dragged, even in person. In person, Crystal handed him his ass every single time. We know what Andrew Schultz is about. Y'all know what Andrew Schultz is about, because why would y'all accept an invitation to a podcast you have not done your research on? So we know what they're about. We know what y'all are about. So y'all coming together, y'all making fun of black women. We were already like, oh, this is not good. It really started again from There Are No Baddies in Atlanta, because when you think of Atlanta, you think of black people, black women. It is a dense black population. They might not have the biggest black population, but it's very fucking dense. We know what that meant, right? And people already peeped it from then, and it just, snowballs into all of this shit. So yeah, I'm gonna come for Shits and Gigs, because Fuhad, as a Nigerian man, as a fully black Nigerian man and Muslim, you sat there while they made fun of black women, and it's not black American women, but let's just say, because Andrew talks about black American women, fine. They talked about Nigerians, and you sat there laughing, and you played into the fucking bait. Because the thing is, Andrew can ask whatever questions he wants. Andrew can ask whatever racist questions, whatever sexist, misogynistic, Islamophobic, all the phobics. He can ask all the questions. But y'all answered it. Instead of y'all to be like, nah, we're not doing that. Y'all answered it. And you stayed the entire time, to the point that it wasn't just the black women comments, it wasn't just the Nigerian comment. There was worse. And your team only seemed to have them take out what was worse. But you left the black women and the Nigerian, slander on there. And now you had your apology. The same people you was kikiing with are now kikiing at you, not with you. That's nasty work. And we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew this was going to happen. There was no way. I was not expecting Flagrant Podcast to come on the internet and be like, hey guys, we'd like to apologize for the things that we said. They've been around apparently for 7 years. 7 years. They've been doing the same shit for 7 years. Also, real quick, I thought this black man at the end was actually with Shits and Gigs. He is not. But there was one point where they were doing a fake apology and apologize to your community. And, that they were joking about, boys talk is about talking about the things we're grateful for. The Indian man told him, tell them you are grateful for black women. Tell him you were grateful for black women, even though he was joking. Even though he was joking, everyone was laughing. This man at the end didn't even say it. The next thing, I'm grateful for you guys. He said, the Indian man said, if you don't say you're grateful for black women, you're canceled or whatever. He couldn't even bring it to himself to say it. Joking or not, because I know, we clearly know that. We know. But he couldn't even say those words. Like, the whole thing is funny. I fully believe that Shits and Gigs knew who these podcasters were. If anything, if they got the invite or, I don't know, asked for an invite, at least do your research. If you didn't know, if you were invited and you didn't know them, I would look them up first and then accept the invite. I've been invited on podcasts by men talking about dating. I'm not getting on podcasts with men talking about dating because I already know what it's gonna be. I am just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. These 4 guys, and then apparently he's Scottish and he's Indian. He's, making jokes about his people, fucking mud, and then he's making fun about his people fucking sheep. And then the white guy is making fun of the street food. And it's like one big, offensive fest. And it's just like, this is what y'all signed up to go on. And this is just me watching. This is still part of the apology. We knew it wasn't an apology. It wasn't an apology. It was, let's watch their apology and talk shit. You really thought you were in community with them. Exactly. And then once you did your apology, they had to show you that you're not a part of them. And as a Nigerian American, someone who resides in the US, as a black woman, who was surprised? Yeah. And listen, if anything, watching this apology and them, again, it's an ad for the incels and those who hate, whether it's black women, black Americans, Africans, basically any of the, the different classes and stuff that's not a white man, they're going to start listening to that podcast. So enjoy your new audience. I hope they support you enough to where you can do another US tour. All the luck to everybody.
Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think about people's reaction to Andrew's reaction to James and Fuhad's apology. So go down in the comment section and share your thought. But please, please, please be respectful as always. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thoughts. Okay? I really love to know you guys' take on it. But apparently, I already said, ooh, my legs. Oh my God. Apparently, I already said a whole lot of things on the first video, the actual apology, them reacting to the apology video, that Fuhad and James, they just clearly just really show who they are, what they are. To think that I'm not subscribed to them, but I see their clip, I watch their content when it pops up on my For You page. But clearly, for them to have the option of going through the clip before the clip is out, and yet they didn't see anything wrong with those statements, those problematic statements, that actually says a lot about them, their person, and even their brand. And as people, especially as Black women, because whether I like it or not, James and Fuhad, most of their audience is Black women, and they feel like, ah, yes, let's just do the apology and shut them up and all that. But as Black women, this is where I just want to say, don't, as much as yes, we see content and all that, really do your research and then go back, really, like, let's learn how to read in between the lines. I know that's something even me myself, it sometimes flies over my head, that you just see a content creator or a content and you just genuinely enjoy it and like it, and we don't read in between the lines, because there are other problematic things that James and Fuhad has said in the past before, but we did not read in between the line. We kiki kaka at it. We should learn to do that, because a lot, like they did a UK tour, and clearly most of the audience were Black women. I know I'm just rambling, but I think in this part of the video, I really just want to talk to Black women. Know the type of content you consume, the type of content you give your time, your energy. No. And it just been like in my head thinking about how a lot of all these Black men online that create content that panders towards Black women, as much as yes, we as women, especially as Black women, would like to see a man that gets it, I'm beginning to think that sometimes I think most of them are just pandering towards us because they don't really genuinely like us. And we've established that here on this channel, talking about how most men don't like women, but really, they don't like women. They don't they like even when it comes to Black women. So we should be very, very intentional about the people we give that platform. And I know Andrew and his clique are saying that, oh, they shouldn't have apologized. I agree, they shouldn't have apologized because the apology wasn't genuine and it didn't come from there. And some people are saying that, oh, what do you expect them to do? They've said they are sorry, they could identify. They don't see anything wrong with Kiki Kakaim disrespecting Black women, disrespecting Nigeria. They don't see anything wrong with that. To them, it is joke, and it's fine. If you are the type of people that see things like that as joke, it's fine. But definitely, if you are not the type of people that see those type of things as joke, then don't align with them. Like Andrew has his audience, and good to them. So always look for creators that align with your core values, what you really want, what you believe in. I feel like at this point, James and Fuhad, they're not going to get, like, as much as everybody's outraged and all that, yes, they're going to lose some subscribers and some followers and all that, but they're also going to gain some. And this is why I'm going to explain why I don't feel like this outrage on James and Charles is going, I said James and Charles, James and Fuhad is going to go anywhere. One, the things that caused the upright, one is about Black women. Two is about Nigeria that has gotten people to want to cancel them. And this is why I feel like they are not going anywhere. They are not, nothing's going to happen. Then nobody's canceling them. It's because one, Black women are the most disregard people in the world. So any issues that affect Black women, they're just going to like, it's just going to pan out for 1 week and everybody's going to move on and go back about their day and see kiki kaka and all that. Because society, the world does not take anything that affects Black women serious. Nobody cares what happens to Black women, but just Black women. And even some Black women don't even. So the only people that is out there to protect Black women are Black women. But even within us as Black women, some Black women will not even protect you as a Black woman. So I feel like nothing's really going to come out of that. But this is where I urge Black women to just keep on, you see, this education, this community, everything we're building for ourselves to protect, to love, to encourage, to empower ourselves. We should keep on building on it. Yes, we're getting there. Yes, it's not all of us that's on the same boat and ideology, but the truth is that if we keep working on it, we'll get there. And we need to continue protecting and calling out things like this out. Yes, even though nothing tangible is going to come out of it. Yes, they're going to lose some of us as audience, but they know low-key that we'll stand up for ourselves. I don't know if I'm making sense. Lastly, the Nigeria one, whether we like it or not, I'm Nigerian, so whether we like it or not, when it comes to Nigeria issues, even in the comment section of the video I posted yesterday, you could still hear some people say, and what else? What are the positive stereotype of Nigeria? What are people will still look down on us as Nigerians? A lot of people don't like us. A lot of people will still disrespect us. A lot of people will still stereotype us. A lot of people still think that we're the biggest scammer in the world. And as much as Nigerians who try to defend all that and try to educate people about other things we are and what we are as a people, that just one stereotype that doesn't just make the entire country the biggest nation in Africa, the highest population in Africa. Everybody's not scammer, almost 220 million people. But even at that, people are not going to take it serious because it's Nigeria. They are Nigerians because anything flies. Even the country don't even care about the people, doesn't even care about the country. So why would anybody care or stand up for them? Yes, Nigerians, we can defend ourselves and stand up for ourselves online and all that, and I love that for us. But yeah, also one thing about Nigeria, which I don't really like to about we, is that we forget easily and we move on easily, and that has gotten the country to where it is today. We forget easily, we forget, and we still support those same people that messed us with the up, those same people that F us up. We will still go back and support them because every little thing is kiki kaka for us, Nigeria. So I don't think James and Fuhad is going to get cancelled. Yes, things are going to slow down for them now. They're going to go low, but they're going to come back and they're going to be fine because the two people that people are outraged about, that caused this entire outrage, people don't care. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this entire conversation down in the comment section. But as always, keep it respectful. You're on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but we'll do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free. Share your thought. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go on and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.